We are here at 1518 Horseshoe. You do have a school directly across the street from you. However, the agent did say pickup is not on this side. So typically she says you don't have much problem. You do have a driveway in front of the house here that you can park. You also have a driveway to the left of your house that leads you into your garage. Let's see if we can open the garage. Nope, that does not open. So there is a little bit of paint chipping down at the bottom of the garage door. And up the sides you can tell where it had been painted and didn't get all the way in there. She did say that she knows that the shed and shed roof has some problems and they are willing to make it FHA compliant. Some more paint chipping here around the windows. Gonna need some seal work up here on your siding. There's some cracking in the stucco going on. Do have a zero-scaped front yard, which is really nice. You got a little bit more cracking around the windows and the stucco. Does look like that is a dirt mark, but it looks like it's coming from the side of the window and not actually out of the corner of the window. You do have a pretty significant crack here. Some more paint chips. Looks like a little bit of some water going on in there, some swelling. It does look like this is just plywood put around the garage door. And then you do have more cracking here on the outside of the home. Under the roof, you can see probably needs some seal maintenance. Do have a gate around this side. This side of the house looks pretty good. Not seeing anything too crazy. There is a divot here, however, it is sealed. You can tell that there's no water intrusion. And Joe just got here. Hi, Joe.
It's a vanilla iced coffee from McDonald's. Yours if you want it. Sorry, I'm late again.
Oh my goodness, you're fine. Some cracking under here. Quite a bit of cracking going on under the front door by the steps. And I'm gonna head inside. Okay, when you first walk inside the house, you do have hardwood floors. You have your living space here. This is access into your kitchen. A little bit of creaking going on in the floors. Looks like new carpet in here. Your wood burning stove. You do have attic access in your dining living area here. So you are step down here. You step down from the living room by the front door. Then you step back up to go into the dining room. Does look like you have some built-ins here, some cabinets and some open space. So around this wall, you have your hidden stairs to your basement. Your kitchen. And they have this thing screwed closed so we cannot get in there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's they opened up the wall, so like made the kitchen a part of it, and then it was hall, and then bathroom.
In the main bathroom, the first couple of tiles were just replaced, so she asked us to step over those.
Okay.
Now, I do want to point out this dishwasher to you. This is a mini dishwasher. This is not a standard size dishwasher. So I do want to point that out. You can probably elongate this a little bit and put one there. However, this is sized for a mini. Looks like there was some sort of water damage at some point back here under the kitchen sink. We do have some seam cracking here. I'm not sure what this fan vent goes to. And then down the hall, you do have your main bathroom. There were a few tiles that were replaced in here.
Yeah, it's big.
It does look like a little bit of bubbling going on up here. Pretty good size closet. You do have second attic access here in the hallway. Also here in the hallway, I want to point out this crack that goes over the doorway to the front door. Okay, here's bedroom 1. Right around the window seals is going to need to be kind of repainted.
Yeah, there is a closet right
There is some more cracking going on above this door. You can tell they've tried to correct it. I also want to point out the floor has some separation going on
like
in the wood
mosquitoes.
slats.
That'd be like floor sheet.
Okay, bedroom 2. And again, just some cracking above the door. Okay, and then underneath
So
in the kitchen, I just noticed this when I walked in. It'll just need to be repainted.
it's open. They open this also, right? This wall, that wall to the dining. That's what I said. I think for the size of the kitchen,
Now this carpet is a little bit older. It's not the fluffy kind.
the sacrifice of cabinet space would be
Okay, down at the bottom of the stairs. Directly at the bottom of the stairs, you do have a great pantry. My goodness. And the light does not work in here. However, lots of built-ins. This is a great big space. There's some staining going on in this carpet down here. You do have, looks like a plug-in here in the side of this. It looks like your water main down here. So to the right of the stairs is the laundry and the mechanical. Now I know that this was replaced fairly recently. Not sure what this is. Looks like paint. Does look like there was some leaking back here, some pretty significant cracking along that wall. You can see how rusted those are. It doesn't look like they go to anything. However, at some point it seems that that is what leaked. That crack that I showed you does go all the way through, so this is the same wall. It does come all the way through. That is a very significant crack. I don't know how far back it goes. It looks like it goes pretty far back there. There's some cracking here. Sorry, I know it's a little difficult. There's some cracking here that comes down the window and goes down back behind here. finishing the basement. Down to the right, you do have what looks to be a primary. I'm not exactly sure what these are in the ceiling. You do have smaller windows down here, newer carpet in here. Behind the door, water heater. This does say January 2010 on the water heater. And keep in mind this access is through your primary in the basement. You do have some built-ins. And a closet. Your concrete wall closet. And then you do have a bathroom. Now again, the shower, I know it's hard to tell, but again, I'm very short. And this is the roof to me, so not a whole lot of room. Also, this door, because of where your wall is, there's not a ton of room for that door. 2 different carpets. This bedroom has been replaced. The rest of the downstairs has not. Good size closet down here. There's some cracking going on here in this wall. Just so you are aware. And this is the basement. I am going to take a few pictures of that big crack just so you guys can see it more in depth of what I'm talking about.